Hello everyone, this is Simple Math for you, and our lesson today will be about three-dimensional figures. أهلا بكم في Simple Math for you ودرسنا اليوم عن الأشكال ثلاثية الأبعاد. Let's learn how to identify three-dimensional figures. We will start by defining the polyhedron. Polyhedron. نعرف شو يعني polyhedron. A polyhedron is a closed three-dimensional figure made up of flat polygon regions. So let's take an example of these polyhedrons. This is called polyhedron. As you see here, we have flat faces, flat surfaces, and they are, as you see, meeting, intersecting together, and they are forming this type of solid here as well. This is another polyhedron. So each face represents a polygon. Remember the definition of the polygon. The curved path is not a polygon, remember? So for example, this is a polygon. The faces represent each one of them a polygon. مضلعات. ولكن the surface here, the sphere, is not a polyhedron. The cone is not a polyhedron due to the curved path here. So let's now define the edge of a polyhedron. The edge of a polyhedron is a line segment where the faces of the polyhedron intersect. So we can say that this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge. We have edges where the faces of the polygons intersect. In the sphere, for example, no edges at all. The vertex of a polyhedron is the intersection of three edges of the polyhedron. So this is called a vertex, 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 and these are all represent vertices. In the pyramid, we have one vertex. في الهرم vertex واحد فقط. The vertex of a polyhedron is the intersection of three edges, and the bases of the prism or cylinder are the two parallel congruent faces of the solid. One of the famous shapes is the prism المنشور, and the prism has a criteria, له خاصية معينة إنه it has two parallel congruent faces. ملاحظين القاعدة اللي فوق والقاعدة اللي تحت بالضبط نفس الشيء, copy paste of each other, and they are parallel of each other, متوازيات لا تتقاطع, and all the faces are rectangles, كلها مستطيلات. While here in the pyramid, لاحظ قاعدة واحدة فقط. The pyramid has one vertex and one base, and from the vertex everything is connected, and we have triangular faces. كل الفيسز هون triangles في البيراميد. في الكون عندنا واحد vertex or one vertex and a base is a circle. في الcylinder we have two parallel bases and actually no edges. We can say no edges except the one which is below. In the sphere we have no vertex, no edges, no faces, nothing. So it's free of everything. So we can say now that this is the simple idea about polyhedron. So cylinder and cone and the sphere are not polyhedrons. Pyramids and all types of prisms are polyhedrons. Now, if you notice here, this is triangular prism because we have two bases. They are congruent and parallel. Each of them is a triangle, as you see, and that's why we call it triangular prism. Here we call rectangular prism. And the way you can think about it also, all faces are rectangles. Although the bases are triangles, مع إنه الbases are triangles, all the faces are triangles. Here we have base is pentagon, so it's called pentagonal prism, and as you might see here, all the faces are rectangles. Here this is a pyramid since we have a vertex, and from the vertex all the edges come to one single base. This base is a triangle, and that's why we call it triangular pyramid. Here we have rectangular pyramid, and sometimes it's a square pyramid when the base is a square. Here we have pentagonal pyramid. So we name the prism or the pyramid according to the base. Some special cases of polyhedrons is when there is regular polyhedron. If all the faces are regular congruent polygons and all of the edges are congruent, There are exactly 5 types of regular polyhedra called platonic solids. So the platonic solids are special cases when you have all the faces are congruent. As you see here, we have 4 equilateral triangular faces. This is equilateral triangle, and we have 4 faces, 1, 2, 3, and 1 at the back. So it is 4, and that's why we call it tetrahedron. We have hexahedron, which is the same as the cube. Everyone knows the cube. It has 6 square faces. Each face is a square. All squares are congruent. For the octahedron, we have 8 equilateral triangular faces. For the dodecahedron, we have 12 regular pentagonal faces. For the icosahedron, we have 20 equilateral triangular faces. So this is a simple idea about what we call platonic solids. So let's have an idea here. Determine whether each solid is a polyhedron, then identify the solid. If it is a polyhedron, name the bases, faces, edges, and vertices. Is this polyhedron? No, because of the curved path. This is called a cone. Is this a polyhedron? Yes. This is called rectangular prism. Since we have 2 bases, congruent and parallel, and all the faces are rectangles. What are the bases? This is one of the base. The base 1. Now we can call bases. Base 1 is HJKL. We have to name it in order. The other one, it's rectangle also, DEFG. We have 2 bases. We have the faces as well. Faces are also rectangles. We can name this face LGFK. One of the faces is JKFE. The other one HJED. And the front one is HDGL. All are rectangles. Vertices are those, you can name them, vertex A, D, G, K, L, whatever. And the edges are the segments that you can see here. So the here vertices, you know now, D, E, F, etc. You can continue. The edges, this is one of the edges. It is FG, or you can say GF. We have LK, you have GL. All these edges, you can name them and continue. You can do it alone. Let's see this one. Is this a polyhedron? Yes, it is a polyhedron. And this is called rectangular pyramid, since the base is a rectangle. All the faces, as you see, are triangles, and we can name them. Faces are triangle VXY, triangle VZY, triangle VWZ, triangle VWX. We have 4 triangles, since the edge, the base has 4 edges or 4 sides. Vertices are those. We have 5 vertices. We have segments as edges. This is edge number 1, edge number 2, edge number 3, etc. You can count all these as edges. Don't ignore or forget any one. Now, what are these shapes? They are look like a cone, and it is not a polyhedron. This is a sphere, and it is not a polyhedron. And this looks like rectangular prism. And it is definitely, yes, it is a polyhedron, since it has sides, as you see, no curved path. Now, we will go through the important part, which is the surface area and the volume, and how to find the surface area of the volume for the common shapes shown here. The prism, right, pyramid, cylinder, cone, and sphere. S represent the surface area. V represent the volume. S is the surface area, perimeter of the 1 by 1. V is the volume we are covering here. Now, H here means the height of the prism. So for example, this one is the height of the prism. H here is the height of the pyramid. H here is the height of the cylinder. H here is the height of the cone. No H for the sphere, of course. Okay, so we are finishing this part as well. We have P and B. What is the difference? P is the perimeter of the base. We will look at the base perimeter and we will apply the formula of the perimeter depending on the base. If the base is rectangle, so P will be twice L plus width. If the perimeter is the square, is 4L, where L is length of the side. If the base is a triangle, then the perimeter will be the sum of the sides if they are A, B, and C. Okay, what is B? B is the area of the base, and we will apply also the formulas as we need. So the area of the rectangle, if the base is a rectangle, will be length by width. If the area is, the base is a square, then you will multiply the length by itself. If the base is a triangle, then you will apply the area of the triangle, half base times height. Now, one part remaining, or two parts actually, R, everyone should know R is the radius usually, and we will use it in the cone, cylinder, and the sphere. نص القطر. height هو الارتفاع طبعا. L is the slant height أو الهايت المايل, and it is the height of the triangle. It's not the height of the pyramid. يعني for example, if you look here, what is the slant height? The slant height is the height of the triangle itself, which is one of the faces. It is different than the height of the pyramid, which is coming from the vertex perpendicular to the base. So L is the slant height. Sometimes it is given, sometimes you need to use Pythagorean theorem to find it. Let's apply on one of the examples, find the surface area and the volume of the rectangular prism. And you should know that it's rectangular prism. So let's go to the formulas. What is the formula of the rectangular prism? Rectangular prism formula is PH plus twice B. So we need first P. P is the perimeter of the base. This is the base. So this is the base with width 5.2, length 10. So it's 2 times length plus width. So it's twice 5.2 plus 10. So it's 2 times 15.2, which is 30.4 centimeter. This is the perimeter. What is the B? Capital B is the area of this base, which is length times width, or base times height. So you multiply 10 times 5.2, which is 52 centimeter square. Remember, the perimeter unit is centimeter, kilometer, inches, no square. The area or surface area units are centimeter square, inches square, foot square, whatever. Volume, centimeter cube, foot cube, inches cube, everything to the power of 3. Okay, now what's left? We have H. H is the height of the prism. So we will apply S equals to P, which is 30.4, times H, which is 6, plus twice the area of the base. In our case, this is 52. Then you will multiply 6 with calculator, using calculator, 30.4 plus 2 times 52, and the result is 286.4 centimeter square. Now, what about the volume? For the rectangular prism, the volume is area of the base times height. We already found the area of the base, which is 52. Height is 6. So simply you can multiply 52 by 6, which is 312 centimeter cube. Remember, rectangular prism, if you are asked directly to find the volume, an easy formula, and it's especially for rectangular prism only, volume can be directly found length times width times height. So simply you just multiply 6 by 5.2 by 10, which is 312 centimeter cube, which is easy for any multiple choice question. Okay, here. The plans for constructing a raised vegetable garden use corrugated metal in a wooden frame. The finished garden is 4 feet long and 30 inches wide, 32 inches tall. Before you start, you need to convert all units to 1 unit. As you see here, we have feet, inches, inches. So we will convert inches to feet. You should know that 1 foot is 12 inches. To convert inches to foot, simply you can divide by 12. So if you divide 30 over 12, it is 2.5 feet. And if you divide 32 divided by 12, then it is about 2.7 feet. Now we are ready to start. The metal is only used for the lateral يعني الجانبية. It's on the sides only. Of course, we are not going to cover the base and the lower base also. So we need to write the surface area of the rectangular prism, which is PH plus 2B. 2B is not necessary for us, so we will not use it. We will find the P. P of the base. This is the base. The base is 4 feet long and 2.5 feet width. So we can say twice 4 plus 2.5, which is twice 6.5, which is 13 feet. And the surface area will be P times H, so it is 13 times the height, which is approximately 2.7. And the answer will be about 35 feet squared, because it's an area. Now for part B, how many bags containing 2 cubic feet of soil will be needed to fill the garden? So here it shows us feet cube, so the hint here is the volume. So you need to find the volume, which is length, times width, times the height. Are we going to use the same dimensions on the diagram or the shape? No, because if you want to fill the soil, he said you should be down or below 1 inch below the top of the frame. Of course, we are not going to fill the soil. التربة مش هنعبيها على الآخر فهننزل inch واحد. So the height now will be 31 inches, which is 31 over 12, which is about 2.58 foot. And we will use this new height. So our volume will be the same length or the same width, 2.5, and the height now it's 2.58. So 4 times 2.5 times 2.58, which is 25.8 feet cube. This is the total volume. If one bag contains 2 feet cube, and we want to find out how many bags I should buy to have a 25.8 feet cube, you can do it this way or directly, and you can assume that this is X and use a proportion, or you can directly divide. It's giving us 12.9, and I'm not going to buy 12.9 bags. I will buy 13 bags. Now let's solve an example about a cylinder. A cylindrical trash can is 30 inches high and has a base radius of 7 inches. A manufacturer wants to know the surface area of this trash can. So we have 2 keywords here. We have a cylindrical can. So it is a cylinder as is shown here. We know that the height is 30 as it's shown, and the base radius, so we have radius also. So radius is 7, height is 30, and both are in inches. Otherwise, you will need to convert. So in this cylindrical trash, we need to find the surface area of this trash can, including the top of the lid. What is the surface area around the sphere edge? If he doesn't mention that, we will include the top, so we will not consider the area of one of the bases. So let's go to the rule, the formula of the surface area of the cylinder. Surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r square h. If the top is not included, so you will consider 1 pi r h here. You will not consider both bases. Let's see what is required here. We need only the r and the h, and they are both available. So 2 times 3.14, radius is 7, h is 30, plus another 2, 3.14, r square means 7 square, h is 30. And when you put everything in the calculator, here, how much it will be? This question, it will be 1627 inches square. Done. Let's go here. The model of a roof is in the shape of a square pyramid. It is very clear here. So this is the base. The base is the square with each side length is 5 centimeters. If the surface area is given to 64 centimeters square, what is the slant height? So what is the key word here? Surface area of the pyramid. Going back to the formula of the surface area of the pyramid. What is the surface area of the pyramid? Surface area is half P slant height plus capital B. So it will be, first of all, we will find the P. P, the perimeter of the base, which is 4 times 5, which is 20 centimeter. Capital B is the area of the square, which is 5 square, which is 25 centimeter square. Slant height is unknown, and this is what they are looking for, slant height. And let's replace. Surface area is 64. Half P is 20, slant height unknown, plus capital B is 25. So 64 is equal to half the 20 is 10, 10L plus 25. Solve the equation for the variable L. 64 minus 25, which is 39. Divide both sides by 10 to find L. It's 33.9 centimeter is the slant height. The slant height is the height, as you see, of one of the faces. A candle is in the shape of pyramid, so it's a pyramid. Volume is 27 cubic centimeters, so we will use the formula of the volume of the pyramid, which is 1/3 capital BH. The volume is 27, 1/3 B unknown, because he's asking for the area of the base. Height is 6. So let's do it. 1/3 times 6 is 2, so it's 2B. Dividing by 2, so B is 13.5 centimeter square area of the base. Easy. A disposable cup is in the shape of a cone. Very clear, it's a cone. So keyword cone. The cup has a volume. So we will write the formula of the volume of the cone. 1/3 pi r square h. What is the radius? So r is unknown to the nearest inch. So let's see, what do we have? So volume is known to be 48.8. 1/3 pi 3.14, r is unknown, h is the height of the cone, which is 6. Remember, this is not the slant height, this is the slant height. This is the slant height, المايل. And we have everything now except the r square. Let's do it this way. 1/3 of 6 is 2 by 3.14. We can multiply. So it's 6.28 r square. You can do it using the calculator even. Yani 1/3 times 3.14 times 6, 6.28. Dividing both sides by 6.28 to have the r square. So r square is 48.8 divided by 6.28, which is 7.77. So R is the square root of 7.77, square root of the answer, which is 2.787, etc. But he is asking to round to the nearest inch. Nearest inch means R is 3 inches. A silo used for sorting grain is shaped like a cylinder with a cone. It's very clear. This is a cylinder from here to here. And the cone is the upper part, the top. The radius of the base of the cylinder from here to here is 8 feet. The height of the cylinder, the height is 25 feet. The height of the cone is 6 feet. What is the volume of the cylindrical part of the cylinder? So the volume here is consisting of two parts. Volume of the cone, volume of the total volume means, and total of the cylinder. He wants now the volume of the cylindrical part. So go to the formula of the cylinder, pi r square h. So it's 3.14, r is 8, so 8 square, h is 25. So it's 64 times 25 times 3.14, which is 5024 feet cube. What is the volume of the conical part? Volume of the cone is 1/3 pi r square h. So 1/3, 3.14. R is the same because it's the same radius of the cone. So 8 square. H of the cone now, H of the cone is 6. So it is 401.92. This is volume of the cone. And then finally, we have here what? What is the volume of the entire silo? So we will add them. Total is 5024 plus 401.92. It is 5425.92, يعني approximately 5426 feet cube. And this is the last example for the volume. In this lesson, we revised volume of the cone, cylinder, and pyramid, prism, and also the surface area of all of those. راجعنا مساحة السطحية ومساحة الكلية للأشكال ثلاثية الأبعاد، الأسطوانة، المخروط، الهرم، المنشور الثلاثي القائم، والمكعب طبعا، وكل الأمثلة المتعلقة بالحياة. شكرا جزيلا لكم. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. إلى اللقاء.